Basic uses and properties of stack and position widget. Stack is multi-child widget, just as row and column. However, unlike row and column, stack places the children widgets on top of each other in a stack, unlike row and column, which places its children widgets either vertically or horizontally. If you're still confused about it, don't worry, just keep on watching. By the end of the video, you will have a clear understanding of stack. Position widget is a pretty simple widget with only few properties, which is mainly used along with stack. Here in the body of the scaffold, let's provide it a stack widget and use it as children property and provide some list of widget to it. In my case, I used only 2 containers. You can use as many as you need. However, 2 should be enough to have a clear understanding of both positioned and stack widget. As you saw in the simulator, once I changed the color of the containers, the container in the bottom of the list stack over the top container, which is the reason we see only the color of the second container. Let's provide different height and width to both container and see if it is actually stacking. As you see, I provided 200 into 200 to the first container and 100 into 100 to second container, and we can see part of the first container since it's larger than the second one, and second container is over the top of the first one. Alignment property of stack accepts alignment directional object. The default is top start, which is why we see the second container on the top right or top start of the first one. You can choose any of them to your need. Stack itself does not make any height or width. It takes the height and width of its first child and the rest stack over it. However, if the stack has a parent widget with specific height and width, the children's of the stack overlay on top of it. Here I wrap the stack widget with a container and provided height and width and see the result in the simulator. All the children stacked over the parent of the stack widget. Fit property of stack widget accepts a stack fit enum. The default is stack fit.loose, which lets its children to retain their given constraint. However, if you ever want the children's to fill the whole entire display, use stack fit.expand. This will expand all the children widgets and fill the whole screen. Now let's wrap the second container with a position widget. Position widget has only 6 properties. That is top and bottom, which controls the vertical direction, and left and right controls the horizontal direction. Height and width to provide size to the child. Please do keep in mind that you can use only one from each. That is, it can't be left and right together and top and bottom together. It has to be one that controls horizontal direction and one that controls vertical direction. Example, top and right, or top and left, bottom and right or bottom and left. You can use it to whichever direction you need to position the widget. You are free to provide any value to them to place wherever you want to position the widget. Points to remember: the stack fit enum of stack widget does not affect the position widget. That is, it only affects the children's that are not positioned. Now let's get back to positioned. The default is always top and left, with 0 as values. Height and width properties of position widget override the height and width of its child. As you can see in the simulator, once I provided height and width to position widget, the size of second container changed to the size given to the position widget. Now let's position the second container to minus something to the right and see what happens. You may have noticed the second container got smaller on the right. However, that's not the case. It did not get any smaller, but it's overflowing on the right. To see that, let's use the clip behavior property of stack widget. It accepts a clip enum, which default value is clip.hardEdge, which clips a second container within the first one. But if you want to avoid that and allow second container to be visible completely, you can use clip.none. It will avoid clipping the second container within the first one. That's all for basic use and properties of stack and position widget. As always, thank you for watching. If my videos are helpful, do subscribe the channel and leave a like to the video.